this is Jim with Jim's Garage Toys, and today I'm going to be changing the oil on my 2006 Scion XB. So I'll be going through this step by step for anybody else that is new to doing their own oil changes or just wants to learn. It's a very simple process, and I don't find that it's too much of a reason to pay somebody twice as much as it would cost you to do it yourself. So we will get the car up on ramps and we will get started. All right, I have a set of race ramps which I really like because for some of my cars that are lowered more than the XB is, it's easy to get up on them. They're long and a gradual incline, so they work great for all my cars for oil changes. So I have everything set up here that you'll need to do it. So a 5-quart jug of oil. This car takes about 4 quarts, so I'll have a quart extra left for that. A Toyota filter. This one takes the 90915 YZZF1. This is a larger filter. Toyota makes a little bit smaller filter also that's only about yay high, but I like the extra capacity of this. I also recommend each time replacing the washer around the drain plug. You can just buy a package of 10 of these. They're not very expensive, so why not do it? Why risk anything? This car takes 5W30. Like I said, I run synthetic in all of my cars, and some of them I just use the Kirkland brand synthetic, which is the exact same as the Amazon Basics and the Walmart SuperTech, and they've all tested out really well, so I have no problems. I do 5,000 mile oil change intervals or 12 months, with whichever comes first. Now in many cars it's the 12 months, so this car has about 3,000 miles on the oil change, but it's been 12 months, so time to change it. It's a cheap insurance. I bought this oil for $22 for 2 5-quart containers, so it's cheap. I mean, it's about $10 worth of oil that I use in this, and the filter, which was a little over $4, so less than $15, and I can change the oil and filter. Not such a bad deal. So tools that you can use, and this is true on just about any car, especially Toyotas. So 14 millimeter wrench will get the drain bolts off. I use this, I have different sizes, but I use this to take the oil filter off if I can't get it off by hand, and then a socket and an extension if I need it, and that actually fits right into the hole and makes it very simple to get the oil filter off. So we will get situated underneath and continue. All right, so underneath the car, before you ever loosen the drain plug bolt, I always recommend to take off and loosen the oil cap so that you don't create a vacuum and the oil will flow out better. So here's our oil drain plug right there. So in this case, it's just a 14 millimeter. I just break it loose, and then it's just a matter of and also plan for, the oil will kind of shoot out at first. So make sure that you capture it with the edge of your pan. So there we go. So drain it out. A lot of times I'll do this and I'll let it drain, and then I'll go in the house and do some other things, and then come back and let it get a good complete drain. So anyway, we'll do this and we'll move on to taking off the filter. All right, oil's been draining. It's actually drained all the way out, and if you can see here, the old gasket was still on there. So make sure that you get that off. If you use 2 gaskets on there, it will leak on you every time. So sometimes it'll push off with the finger just like I just did then. Sometimes I have to get a little screwdriver and give it a little bump. So on this car, the oil filter is right there. It's kind of just behind this plastic cover and tucked right up there. So got it on there. Give it a couple twists and then it'll usually start leaking like that. A lot of times then I just do it by hand. Sometimes the little, there we go. I just dump it right into the oil drain. Let that empty out. It will dribble a little bit. Then I take a dirty cloth, oily cloth kind of, that I use for these that I just throw away afterwards. And I just go up and I just run my hand around the surface that the oil filter is gonna made up with. So, and then what you want to do is, with your new oil filter, 2 things you want to do here. You want to make sure that the old gasket right here comes off with the filter. One nice thing about Toyota filters is that they generally always do. There you can see it's kind of clamped in there, but I have seen other off brands like Fram and whatnot over the years that have stayed on there. And I learned the hard way many years ago, back in the 80s, and I didn't realize that the old one stuck on there, and I put a new filter on and it started leaking on my way down the road, so I had to go back and pop the filter off and do it again. So anyway, make sure, and then before you install the new filter, I always stick my finger in the can of new oil that I have, the fresh oil, and I just rub a little oil right on there so it seals up nicely. So spin it on. I just put this on hand tight, so I don't ever wrench them down, so it's just no need. Once that gasket syncs up with it, it's pretty, it's gonna be on there pretty good. So then I usually just twist it as tight as I can by hand, usually about 3/4 of a turn afterwards, and there it is. All right. Got the drain plug here, got my washer around it. Oh. Let's re-thread it. Grab your 14mm wrench or socket or whatever you want to use. Again, this does not have to be super tight. Just snug it down, let the gasket do its job. There we go. Perfect. And that is all there is to it underneath. Now all we have to do is fill the engine back up with oil. right, back up on top now. Everything is sealed up down below. Then it's just a matter of filling up the car. Okay, that's pretty dang close right there. So cap this off. Then what I do with my old oil is I will either put it in an empty oil container, or in a gallon milk jug. And since this takes 4 quarts, it doesn't burn any oil. 117,000 miles now, 15 years old, so still doing good. And I'm a firm believer that the 5,000 mile oil change helps that. And then I just set it on my curb with my recycle, and they take the old oil. Piece of cake. I don't have to take it anywhere or do anything with it. So anyway, so that is all she wrote. I'll wrap this up and put the cap back on, back her down off of the stands, and she'll be good to go for another year or 5,000 miles. So thank you for watching. Appreciate it. If this helps you, like it, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you when I do the next one. Take care.